You are listening to Single Smart Female. This is Jen, explaining the possibilities in your love life and examining your mantourage dating experiences. I am here to help you do life and love on your terms by tipping the scales of love permanently in your favor. So don't forget to text this episode to all of your single smart girlfriends, and let's get started. Hey, Single Smart Female, it is Jen, and we are doing listener question today. This is a really juicy question, and I've got a lot to say about it, so let's get to the question. Dear Jen, by the way, this is from Miss Lady in Red, who is 49 in Minnesota. She says, Dear Jen, I have a colleague who is soon getting a divorce in the next few months, in fact. He is showing strong interest in me again. He has clearly expressed interest in me, texting me, small gifts, etc. He has shown a lot of interest in me on and off for 3 years. We have known each other for about 20 years at work. I am recently divorced 9 months ago, and we have a lot in common with work, fitness fanatics, both foodies, etc. He checks all the boxes for me, but the timing is obviously off. He may go through a difficult divorce. I get a strong feeling he could be the jealous type, and I don't think he will want me to have other relationships while I am waiting in the wings. He is a smart, analytical type and extremely perceptive and attention to detail. He can read my emotions, not sure what to do. I'm currently in a very good relationship. Loving man adores me, but I'm a professional and he is not, and not sure if long-term we will have enough in common. I don't want to hurt anyone. Okay. By the way, Miss Lady in Red was also married for 25 years. And let's dive into this because there's a lot going on in here right now. So I want to start with the fact that you are a woman who is about to completely blow up your love life for a man who is in the process of a divorce, which you stated could very well be a very difficult divorce. And because he has clearly expressed interest in you and he checks all of the boxes. Now, I'm not going to go deep into the idea of dating a separated man today. Most of the time, this ends up being a very bad idea. It's completely different if he's completely divorced for the most part than it is if he is separated. There's a completely different energy there. And if you want to understand more about what I'm talking to, go ahead and go to episode 108, and I'll go deeper into it with you there. With that said, what I'm really concerned about is that I don't even think you're asking me what to do here. I think you're telling me that you want me to tell you, go ahead and go for it. I think you're asking me for permission to just blow everything up because you like this guy. And honestly, I think that you're headed into a lot of turmoil, which is not necessary. So one of the things that you said is that he checks a lot of boxes for you. And it makes me really sad that so many women think that this is the basis for how they should pick all of their partners is, oh, he checks some boxes for me. Now, underneath that, I can tell you that you are also a serial monogamous. So you're in a relationship now. You just got out of a 25-year relationship. You're looking to get in another relationship, and you're also qualifying him as being jealous, which means you won't be able to date other people and only be in a relationship with him while you're waiting on him. And I am pretty certain that you're not actually asking me for my advice on this. Again, I believe that you're asking me for permission to just go ahead and do this. But unfortunately, because I am who I am and I know what you're heading into right now, I'm going to give you the down low. Okay? So then you can take this information and you can proceed as you see fit. But do know, if you do, my guess is that you're going to make the decision to be with him and to wait in the wings, that you're going to set yourself up for a lot of heartache. And yes, you may very well end up with him, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to look like what you think it's going to look like. You're going to have to see how much of yourself that you lose in the process while you're waiting for him, which could be a significant amount. something that I will never say that you should do. Okay? So obviously you like him. Obviously there's some chemistry there because you're justifying his interest in you, and you're justifying your desire to be with him because you have a lot in common. You said that he checks all the boxes. Again, this is not somebody that checks all the boxes doesn't mean they're a great romantic partner. One of the things I need to make really clear, one of the beauty pieces of mantourage dating is that mantourage dating gives men the opportunity to step up over time. We think that we know somebody right away. And are there cases of, love at first sight? Of course, things like that exist. But if you have a history of something much different, and especially if you've been in these really long-term relationships, going from relationship to relationship should tell you that at this point, it's time to explore what your true options are in mantourage dating and give men the opportunity to show you who they are and to, over time, step up for you. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you this whole jealousy piece. This piece really gets to me because you said, I won't be able to date anybody else because he's a jealous guy. Well, that's not his fucking choice. You are a smart, ambitious woman who's achieved a certain level of success. You get to make that choice. A man does not get to make that choice for you. And we as women need to quit calling ourselves feminists and stuff if we're constantly conceding, oh, is he going to be angry with me if I date somebody else, or being worried about that all the time. Now, it's not something you're going to go rub in somebody's face, but if you two have not agreed upon an exclusive relationship, it's your choice. It's still your choice, regardless. You don't have to go into an exclusive relationship, and you honestly should not go into an exclusive relationship with somebody that is merely separated. Okay? I'm not even sure you should date him at this point. Actually, I'm pretty sure you shouldn't, but I'm pretty sure you're going to anyway. So you definitely shouldn't only date him. You need to create your mantourage so that you're not neglecting gigantic romantic pieces of you and losing yourself in trying to appease him and his ego. Not only that, I like very small doses of jealousy. This whole jealousy thing we think is some kind of great gauge for how much a guy likes you. No, it's a great gauge for how fucking potentially dangerous he can be. What a big ass child he can be. Okay? Very, very small doses, like tiny, minuscule doses of jealousy, okay. Bigger doses, you need to go the other way. You need a man who is respectful of who you are, and as a woman isn't forcing you into his idea of what he wants for you. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you what happens. At some point, if you allow a man to do that, you don't grow as a woman. In order to grow romantically, you have to make your own choices and not just succumb to somebody else's choices. If you never make those choices and discover those different pieces of yourself, you'll get to the end of your life and just, and take on the victim mentality of, yeah, that's what he wanted. And then you'll be bitter and resentful, and that's not what I want for you, and that's not what you have to have. You can choose something different. We are in a day and age and you live in a country where that is 100% your right to do, whether anybody else says it or not. It is not a man who gets to determine whether or not you're in a relationship. You get to decide as well. And I'm really tired of women forfeiting their rights in this realm. Okay? So, the last part of it, and I mentioned the serial monogamy. I have lots of my women who go from relationship to relationship. You're not the only one. This happens quite a bit. And that is based on the fact that we're really scared to be alone. A lot of women are very scared to be alone. And then they tell me they don't want to mantourage date because they're just relationship women. And it's a cop-out. It's a bunch of crap that we set up in our heads because we're afraid of exploring who we are. And I'm going to tell you, if you're listening to this podcast right now and you have no interest in exploring who you are romantically, like if you are just here because you think somehow I'm going to help you get that one man's attention on you and that's it, and that's all you want from me, you don't want to learn how to mantourage date, you're in the wrong place, okay?
I am not here to support women hyper-focusing on men. I am here to show you all the incredible things that are actually possible in your love life. And if that's not something you want, I completely respect it, but you need to turn elsewhere and listen elsewhere, because this is not the podcast for you, and I'm not going to spend 100% of my time trying to convince you. You want to be here, you want to learn how to explore your options, you want to learn what true, real man magic is, stay here. Learn to explore your options. Learn to step up to status quo and say, fuck that, I'm having better. Really learn that you are in power and you are in control, and your decisions are going to determine the quality of your love life. So learn to make decisions that actually benefit you. Learn to interact with men in a much different way. Learn to take responsibility in your love life so that you can create every fucking thing that you want. And for the last piece of this, let's talk about the man that you actually are in a relationship with. Now, am I coming down on you for having feelings for somebody else while you're in a relationship? No, I'm not saying that whatsoever. What I'm really concerned about is that you, again, are in a relationship right at this moment, because I believe that you are serial monogamous and that you're not giving yourself permission to learn about who you are romantically, and that you might end up, even if it's with this other gentleman that you are very focused on right now, that you're probably going to end up in a relationship that eventually becomes very unsatisfying. Okay? And instead of learning to mantourage date and keeping people like the current man you're in a relationship with, keeping him in your mantourage, not necessarily being in a relationship with him, not agreeing to a relationship until you're truly ready, and dating these type of men that so you fall in love with being treated well. A lot of women, they only like men who treat them like shit, because we like to repeat the same patterns we had before, because there's some kind of thrill in that. And instead of learning to focus your attention on the men that treat you the way that you want to be treated. Clearly, this other man, he's not rocking your boat right now, because you have the potential of this other jealous man who has these highs and lows with you, and then all of this potential drama that can happen, and that can be exciting and something different, especially coming out of a 25-year relationship. So let me break this down for you. You don't need that. When you actually engage in mantourage dating and take your time dating and learn how to have real, true fun, you don't need all the fucking drama to be excited about love. That's really important to understand. We don't have to buy into these narratives that love has to be this tumultuous and friction-based concept so that it can be real. You can own your power as a woman and your ability to take your time. You know, you're not required as a woman to rush into a relationship just because he wants to. You can take your time to explore and to learn how to date, so that when you do decide to be in a relationship again, you know it's the right relationship for you. Because I can almost guarantee you from everything you've told me that you doubt yourself seriously when you're in a relationship, and that you go into relationships before you're really sure that you want to be in a relationship. And in fact, I think it's just because a man wants you to be in a relationship that you decide to say yes at this point. And that's a serious issue to have. And I really want you to address it, because you deserve way better than that. And he deserves to have a woman who really, truly wants to be in a relationship with him. Okay? So take all that in. You've got some things to chew on. If I were you, like if you and I were working together right now, you would step out of the relationship that you're in right now. If he's willing, of course, include him in your mantourage. I would let the other gentleman know that you're not interested in dating him until he is completely divorced. And then I would start immediately building my mantourage. And for the first time in my life, really, truly exploring my romantic options that are going to be eye-opening, game-changing, and that are going to lead you to the relationship that you truly want to be in long term.
Okay, lover girl, it's time for the final thought on today's show. Going from romantic relationship to romantic relationship is unlikely to yield the fulfillment that you secretly need. Mantourage dating, however, definitely will show you how to draw in everything you truly want. Hey, lover girl, don't forget to subscribe to the show in your favorite podcast app, as well as share this episode with all of your single smart girlfriends. And if you are tired of craptastic dates, craptastic men, and meh or fizzle out fast romantic experiences, then meet me over at secretsocietyofAdoredWomen.com to schedule your application interview to work with me directly. Secret Society of Adored Women is a very special and close to my heart, way beyond the podcast opportunity to completely reinvent your dating and love life as it is happening. It's your love life makeover year, where you can tell shitty dating experiences and shitty men to kiss your hot ass forever. Secret Society is you having your real life romantic fairy godmama at your fingertips instead of ever wasting another moment trying to figure it out on your own or on one-size-fits-all crap advice about men, dating, and love. These are the additional pieces that I won't reveal on the podcast or in public. We are going to cover all the ins and outs of mantourage dating, leaving nothing untouched, and I am going to work with you directly to customize the experience to get everything you want out of life and love. But none of this means anything to your love life until you take the small step of courage by scheduling your application interview at secretsocietyofAdoredWomen.com. Procrastination is the exclusive killer of all dreams, especially in your love life. It's time to get your dating and love life in order. It's definitely time to stop pretending you enjoy half-ass dating and love experiences, but most of all, it's absolutely the right time to develop your mantourage and let me help you create everything you want romantically.